Bronny James, son of LeBron James, went down with cardiac arrest the other day. Guys, that is insane. I don't know if you really know too much about sports, but these are the top 1% of people that keep themselves in the best shape ever. I mean, honestly, like you can't get in better shape than these athletes. These Division 1 athletes are at the same level, maybe just a tad step below the professional level when it comes to fitness, especially in basketball and soccer. You really got to be on another level when it comes to cardiovascular health. And he's been playing basketball his whole life. So this is really strange and just brings up questions about everything. It's not necessarily everyone's been talking about the vaccine. I don't think it's the vaccine, but why don't we have any studies showing us the why we're seeing such an increase in cardiac arrest and athletes just dropping on the field and on the court out of nowhere when they're in the best shape of their lives and they're young, they're not old. So it's very strange, but we're going to take a look at it, guys. But first off, welcome to Getting to the Facts. Please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Everything really helps out. But we're going to get right into it, guys. And this is from NBC News, just giving us a little rundown on really what happened. Bronny James, a son of basketball icon LeBron James, collapsed during a workout in Los Angeles on Monday and was rushed to the hospital, his family said. Yesterday, while practicing, Bronny James suffered a cardiac arrest. Medical staff was able to treat Bronny and take him to the hospital, the family said in a statement. He is now in stable condition and no longer in ICU. We ask for the respect and privacy for the James family, and we will update the media when there is more information. LeBron and Savannah wish to publicly send their deepest thanks and appreciation to the USC medical and athletic staff for their incredible work and dedication to the safety of their athletes. Bronny James, 18, announced this year that he plans to play basketball at the University of Southern California, where the medical emergency unfolded. I mean, guys, this is just nuts. And if we scroll down here, it'll tell us some of the other instances where we've seen this, and it was just this this year and last year. And I mean, we can go back to 2020 and really see how many athletes. I mean, even if we have 5 to 10 athletes within a 2 to 3 year period that are collapsing like that since the pandemic, that's too many. These people are in the best shape of their lives. This should not be anything unless you have some sort of heart issue already. There should be no reason that you should be collapsing like that. Because especially at the D1 level, they're treated like professional athletes. They have the best trainers that are making sure their athletes are hydrated. They're making sure that they've eaten the correct amount of food and they got enough meals in their system and all that stuff before they go and do an extra hard workout. So it's just really strange. But here as well, down in the article, James USC teammate Vincent, I don't even know, Iwachukwu, I don't know, passed out on the practice floor in July 2022. The cardiac arrest kept him off the basketball floor until January. Cartier Woods, an 18-year-old high school basketball player from Detroit, died this year after he suffered a cardiac arrest during a game. And then Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin collapsed on the field during the Bills' nationally televised game against the Cincinnati Bengals in January. And then they go back to 1990, and perhaps the most famous on-court death happened in Los Angeles when Loyola Marymount Hank Gathers collapsed during a game in 1990. But that was back in 1990. I care more about now. But still, just to name 1, 2, 3, and now 4 with Bronny, to have 4 athletes in the last year and a half, 2 years go down with cardiac arrest and 1 dies is fatal. Guys, can we not question it? Like, why can't we question this? Like, I feel like it's almost disingenuous not to ask those questions and not to do studies to find out, is there an increase in cardiac arrest or cardiovascular issues in general since the vaccine? Like, and again, it can be other factors, but it's very important to know did you get the vaccine? Yes. Do you have any cardiovascular issues? Yes. Just to have that correlation is important. Obviously, you need more context. Do they have any underlying health issues? But honestly, I would just want those numbers. I just want to know. if those numbers are real. If they're real, it just proves the point that it should be your choice. It should never be forced. I'm not against the vaccine. I'm against the mandating of the vaccine that the federal government was trying to do and the schools were trying to push. You couldn't go to school without the vaccine. You couldn't play sports without the vaccine. You couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't go on the plane hardly without the vaccine, it seemed like. They were at least making you mask up, but no, you could definitely go on a plane. They just made you go through all these extra hoops for no freaking reason, and with all this stuff happening, it should be very reasonable to ask this question, so I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's just a little weird. And then we got this article here. Let me see, from ABC News. And it just gives a little bit of a breakdown on the incident. Medical staff quickly responded to Bronny James' medical emergency on Monday and brought him to the hospital, where he is now in stable condition and out of the ICU. It is a shocking and scary situation when a young athlete falls to the ground due to a sudden cardiac arrest, but it's important to remember it's rare, affecting 2,000 people under the age of 25. And the one thing that I don't like about this article, them saying that, right? It's no problem. Okay, 2,000 under the age of 25. Is that lifetime? Is that since when? Since the study was, or since we've been keeping track of this information? Since what, 2005, 2010? When? Like, give me a date that there's a data that you're saying is coming from. I know it's rare. But people dying of COVID was rare. Okay. There was like a 1 to 1.5% mortality rate. Like, I just don't understand. You can't say, to defend the vaccine, you can't say that, oh, cardiac arrest is rare. All this stuff is rare. Yeah, the dying of COVID was rare. That's rare. Okay, like, there was a lot of underlying health issues too. The majority of people that died had, on average, I think it was 2.5 comorbidities on average. And that's from the CDC.com website, or CDC government website. So, I mean, guys, again, we got to know the full context. And again, it's not about being against the vaccine. It's just about mandating it. If Bronny goes down with cardiac arrest and it's due to the vaccine, and he had and he was voluntarily made himself available for the vaccine voluntarily, there's no issue. Like, it is what it is, bro. You wanted it, so I mean, shit. But if not, if you're forced to get it to play sports and to finish your high school career, which obviously is very important for him, he's trying to go play pro ball. He needed as much exposure as possible. So it's just a tough situation, guys. But again, I lean more towards freedom of choice, and that's my biggest thing. Is we're allowing the people that we've put into government. And remember, the people that we put into government, these politicians, these are just people. These are just people. Why are we putting them on such a high pedestal? Like, oh, well, if the government says it. No, these are other people that are putting laws in place that aren't really benefiting the majority of society. It's benefiting one side of the aisle or the other. We need to have things where it gives everybody an equal opportunity of freedom. We want the equal opportunity to have as much freedom and happiness and the pursuit of happiness in this country. That's really what it comes down to, guys. That's really what it comes down to. So, and then over here, we got Elon Musk always chiming in with his tweet, or X, or whatever you want to call it. But from thehill.com, Musk said, "We cannot ascribe everything to the vaccine, but by the same token, we cannot ascribe nothing," he wrote. "Myocarditis is a known side effect," Musk added. "The only question is whether it is rare or common. Myocarditis is a rare inflammatory condition that affects the heart and has been reported in cases in some adolescents and young adult males who were administered the Pfizer, BioNTech, or Moderna COVID vaccines, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC. There's no evidence yet about what caused Bronny James' health problems, but Musk's tweet quickly took on a life of its own. Musk's post was cited by Fox News anchor Martha McCallum during a Tuesday interview with Dr. Jeanette Nishawat, a medical contributor to the network, about the incident involving James. People see these situations, and it does raise questions about the vaccine, because we saw some of what you talked about happen in some young individuals after that. Elon Musk tweeted about it. McCallum said, "Is that a fair question to raise?" And Nishawat responded by saying that what's more common in someone like Bronny James is cardiomyopathy, not myocarditis, which is true. I mean, according to science, yeah. But again, Whether it's whatever the case is there more cardio vascular issues happening in people that got the vaccine? That's my big question. I don't care as much about just myocarditis. I care more about any cardiovascular issue happening at a higher rate than it was before or typically. And the only way to find out is, are people having cardiovascular issues that got the vaccine? That's at least one correlation. Did they have other issues involved with that? That's more context. I'm telling you guys, we need as much context as possible. The more context we got, the better to make the most educated decision on anything, like, and especially when we're talking about something again that's affecting millions of people, like laws that we're putting into place that are affecting millions of people. It might not affect you, but it's going to affect another 10 million around the country. And I just think we've been putting, everyone been saying 10 million, 20 billion, just throwing out numbers. Wherever we're talking about money or, they break the box office with 155 million, it's just, I feel like people really don't understand what 155 million people look like. Like, I don't know if you've seen an NFL stadium when it's packed. That's like, I believe like that's like 50 to 70,000 people. That looks like a lot of people, but it's only 50 to 70,000. Now times that by like at least 10, just to get yourself in the million range. Like, it's insane, guys. It's really insane. So we just got to be more aware, realize that every single thing that we talk about is going to have context, and we got to find that extra context in order to make just the best decision for yourself, and to make sure you're as informed as possible and informed in as unbiased of a way as possible. That's really the biggest thing. All right. But I hope you guys like the topic here. I thought it was real interesting. Again, this guy's at the top of his game when it comes to just his cardiovascular health, his fitness overall. He's in the top 1% of athletes. So it's just strange when stuff like this happens, guys. So just be aware of it. Make your decisions, do what's best for you and your family. And we're going to keep going after that. But again, guys, I hope you like the content. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate you guys. Have a good Wednesday. I know it's the middle of the week, so finish off the week strong. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you on the next video.